Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing good. You know who it is. It is your boy, Rondo23, your host, the one, the only, I. This is the Rondo Show, the Rondo23 Experiment podcast with your host, Rondo23. I hope everybody, again, is doing well. I know I'm obviously late. I was not going to miss today just because I wanted to say a couple of things. Normally I don't really talk about this and let alone female activities, but I wanted to come here today to speak on a person that I really didn't think I would speak on because that's not my sport. Really, I'm waiting for the NBA to come back so I could go back to underdog and betting some money so I can start winning some money. But it's just so much going on in that community, and I just wanted to get my 1-2 opinion on it. But Sophie Cunningham, somebody I never thought I would really talk about because I went from not liking her to seeing she's kind of getting bullied because of her opinion. And I understand being bullied for your opinion, but I like Sophie Cunningham now. I didn't like her because she was doing the pointing the finger. And when she was pointing the finger, it was at a black girl. And I didn't really like that too much. But I kind of do like Sophie Cunningham now. So I wanted to go ahead and show a couple of things about Sophie Cunningham. She's the only female outside of maybe one or two other females in the WNBA speaking out against transgender men or whatever they are.
How I'm seeing it is, if I could answer,
playing in the WNBA. So this is one of the coaches, and we'll get into it. But first, I wanted to show y'all why I started to like Sophie Cunningham.
Man, Sophie Cunningham has been on a generational run these past few weeks. Ever since she spun the block for Caitlin Clark, her stock has done nothing but skyrocket. Then, off the hype from that viral pointing incident, her shoe deal got announced, and people on the left were heated. They were saying she wasn't even that.
Yeah, Adidas gave Sophie Cunningham a shoe deal. It's not a sneaker deal that everybody can get. It's only for the players, but she got a deal nonetheless, simply off the fact that she was pointing a finger at somebody. So kudos to her. But yeah, Sophie Cunningham does have a shoe deal with Adidas after her pointing the finger moment went viral and turned into a meme. Shout out to Sophie Cunningham for not having to do too much thanks to her white privilege, I'd say, but right place, right time. Shout out to her.
That good, and that a better player deserved the opportunity. Then she made her comments about trans women in women's sports, got even more backlash, and people started acting like she was canceled. But when the shoe finally dropped, it sold out in 1 hour and became the fastest selling release in recent years. She also gained around 1.2 million followers in the last month alone. Sophie has been killing it, and the people rooting for her downfall are sick right now.
Shout out to Sophie Cunningham for her recent success and being one of the highest selling shoes in recent history for a female with the WNBA. More specifically, we'll get into more of her, but one of the things that I also recently saw was that Sophie Cunningham got elbowed to the face, and after getting an elbow to the face during a basketball game, it turned out that the foul was called on her, and we're gonna watch it here in a second. I just wanted to give you some background on it before I played it, but think about a league, specifically the WNBA, who now wants to have biological men playing in their sport. If you have men in a sport made for women, that sport is no longer a woman's sport, even if the men that are playing in it think of themselves as women. That's just retardation. You got to be mentally retarded to not remember you're a man every time you take a piss or something. But yeah, no, Sophie Cunningham is in the WNBA. She got elbowed by a woman. The WNBA wants men to join their league, which then would turn the W from women's national basketball to just, again, basketball, which means because there's men in it, it's not just a women's sport anymore. Then you'll have the endless cycle of women fighting for rights when they just had them. You have a whole sport, a whole league to yourself. And what do you want to do with it as women? Bring men into it. You know why? Because women don't really like women. Other women be really wishing on other women's downfall. When you would think they would all be together. Like, you got your own sport, no men involved. Why would you want to bring men into it? Because all we're going to do is dominate. Like, as soon as they bring a man into the WNBA, I'm putting my money on this nigga every time. This nigga is going to win all the championships. He's going to win all of the accolades, all of the MVPs. It's now a woman's sport with men in it. So all the men are going to dominate. Duh. So with that being said, Sophie Cunningham gets elbowed to the face. And I'm just thinking, do females in the WNBA really want to play with men? Because if she gets hit in the face with an elbow by a woman, fine. But imagine if Sophie Cunningham is playing against a team that has men and she gets elbowed. That's a loose tooth, a missing tooth. That's a root canal. That's a lot of physical injuries that go from being minor to almost emergencies, because you have frail women playing against masculine men, even though the men think they're women. That really doesn't change the fact that the men are actually men. I'm just saying, but I ain't gonna hold you too long. Let's just watch the clip.
You, your team, and your agents are working together on Monday.com's AI work platform.
The clock becomes a little bit of an issue, and Minnesota just gets it across. And a whistle, no indication as to what. We'll call foul on Cunningham. Now, some of the guards you're seeing here today is the efficiency. If you look at true shooting percentage, which waits for both free throws and three-point percentage, number one in the league, Kelsey Mitchell in true shooting percentage. Number two, Kayla McBride. Number three, Caitlin Clark.
I just want to put it as a disclaimer. Sophie Cunningham spoke out about women and men not playing together in the WNBA, and the lesbian coach for the other team, the coach for the other team that she's playing against is a lesbian, and she's wearing a transgender trans kids allowed shirt, which I don't understand how kids can be, how an adult can say a child is transgender when it took them years to even get to the point that they are, and you're rushing a process that may not even fully develop at such a premature age. And a lot of people are not going to understand what I'm saying, so I'll say it like this. When you're a child, you're not thinking about stuff like that. So you got adults who are thinking about stuff like that around children who are not thinking about stuff like that, and they're projecting their own beliefs onto children who don't believe in anything, because everything is learned behavior. So when you're a child, so you're teaching them to learn to do something that isn't natural in their behavior. So that's what the shirt is on, this woman that's trying to act like a man for the Lynx, which is the name of the other basketball team. This Sophie Cunningham plays for the Indiana Fever, and this lesbian coach is for the Minnesota Lynx. LYNX is the team. I don't know where they got it from. I'm just letting you know.
So you have arguably the three most efficient guards in the league, in addition to the bountiful stats. Number 4 on that list is Paige Beckers, another incredible guard. Now they're going to take a look.
The previous play is under review for a potential hostile act after the whistle.
I'm going to take a look at the elbow that happened here after the defensive foul was called.
Right there. The girl hand is up and her left elbow is hitting Sophie Cunningham in the jaw. If that was a man hitting Sophie Cunningham in the jaw, because the WNBA allows men into their league, which now means it's a man's league because the men are going to dominate the women, of course. And it's no longer a women's National Basketball Association because it's more than just women. It's men in there who think they're women. So the women who run the WNBA says, sure, if you think you're a woman, then you could play in our league, which is ironically stupid. Just imagine LeBron James going like this and hitting a woman in the face because he's in the WNBA and not in the NBA. Like, it's okay if a woman hits a woman in the WNBA as long as it's two biological women, but when it's a man hitting a woman, it becomes a problem because of physical, natural, God-given strength that a man has more so than a woman. Like, am I tripping? Am I?
Yeah, right there. I think that's just a common foul. Nia Coffey is just
That's not a common foul, gang. That's not a common foul. That might be a flagrant in the NBA. But they're trying to make their league seem tougher for when men come. Plus, it's happening to Sophie Cunningham. So they're allowing it to happen because they really they're like, since you said that, that's what you get. And the woman who's hitting her probably feels like all the other people that trans men who think they're women, and because they think they're women and say they're women, then everybody has to say, okay, since you say you're a woman, then you're a woman. Like, that player probably agrees that men should play in the league. So you're going to have a lot of females in the WNBA who's trying to play like men so they can say, no, we can play with them too. But as soon as a nigga come in there, he's going to fuck you up. He's not going to elbow you. He's going to dunk on top of your head with his balls in your face. Do you really want that as a lesbian? I don't think so.
just trying to bring the ball through. Sophie Cunningham's face is right there.
I think it's a natural basketball motion.
I know 100%.
No, there's nothing natural about whacking somebody. That's like saying when Wemby whacked Nas Reed in the face and fouled out because it was a flagrant 2 during the NBA playoffs after only getting 4 points. That was a common foul. There was nothing common about that. You don't go like this. That's like when Meta World Peace elbowed the shit out of James Harden game. I'll show y'all a couple of clips, but that's not normal.
I think that's a basketball motion. Anyone who's ever done a pivot drill knows that. Yeah. So
they're trying to downplay it because they don't like Sophie Cunningham. But if it was somebody that they really liked, like if Angel Reese got hit in the face like that, the other person might get a suspension. But because we know what Sophie Cunningham said about not wanting niggas in her sport, her getting whacked in the face by an elbow is a common foul, and it's actually a foul on her for being too close instead of being a foul on the person who hit her. That's what they want. They want other players to be rough with Sophie Cunningham so she could shut the fuck up, which is wrong.
I think it should stay just a common foul.
After review, it is just a defensive foul. No hostile act occurred. There was no secondary act.
No hostile. She got hit in the face by an elbow, and they're saying it was not a hostile act. That's like LeBron getting hit in the head, and they're saying that's not a foul. It's LeBron. He's 40. He's probably the tallest, strongest, oldest nigga in the WNBA. That's not Sophie Cunningham in the LeBron in the NBA. Like LeBron is probably the strongest nigga in the NBA. So him getting hit on the head is not the same as Sophie Cunningham getting hit with an elbow to the jaw in the WNBA, because she's a woman and the person that hit her is way bigger, way taller, way stronger than her. If LeBron got hit, you could charge it to the game because LeBron's played it so long and he's old and he's pretty strong and he is 6'9", and apparently at LeBron's old ass age he's growing, because now the Philadelphia 76ers are saying he's 6'11". So I don't think it's a common foul, and I do think it was a hostile act, and I think it's a hostile act that was called a common foul and not a flagrant 2 to get the person out, because Sophie Cunningham is not liked right now in the WNBA because she doesn't agree that men should be in her sport. Meanwhile, everybody important around her does want men in their sport, as long as they're not men who think they're men. As long as they're men who think they're women. It doesn't matter if they look like LeBron, as long as they think they're women.
After the defensive foul, play resumes with Minnesota ball on the sideline.
Oh, you didn't realize they called that on Sophie Cunningham?
No, okay.
So
I think it should be an offensive foul. I don't think it should be a defensive foul.
And here's the thing. Now, when they go and look at that, they can't change it from a defensive foul to an offensive foul.
Unless it's been a challenge.
Challenge, right.
Yeah, they trying to get that girl hurt out there for her statement and her not wanting niggas in her league, which is not a league for niggas. So they really trying to let her get hurt.
And Indiana just had to use a challenge on a phantom call. They're not going to use another one right there. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's the defensive foul. With the hands on Coffey right away.
Okay.
That's the defensive foul that occurs before contact from Coffey on Cunningham.
Okay.
There you got it, folks.
Man, Sophie Cunningham has been on a generational run these past few weeks.
They trying to take the girl out for absolutely no reason, outside of the fact that she wants men to not be in the WNBA, which I don't understand what the big deal is. I mean, it's the W in WNBA means women. It doesn't mean men who think they're women. It doesn't mean men who says they're women. It just means women. So why would a nigga be able to be in there? Why at all?
How I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity.
This bitch is smiling. Like, she's smiling like she's making a good comparison, like she's really cooking. Like, bitch, you sound stupid. This bitch is like, oh, because I'm Asian and I'm tall, that's the same as a man who says he's a woman not being able to play with other women because I was a girl who is tall amongst a group Asians who are normally short. You can't compare height and ethnicity to gender, gang. You're a female who should be in support of other females, and you're a female who should be protecting other females. And you're not out there on the floor, you're a coach. So you're not going to be the one getting hit by this nigga who's playing basketball with these women. So for you to sit there and smile and be like, oh, it's the same as being Asian and being around black people and being tall and being around short people. No, bitch. No, it's not. That's a nigga who's going to fuck them hoes up. You're retarded for thinking this nigga should be allowed to come in here and fuck these hoes up. You're fried.
I've been in those you shouldn't belong here many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
Garbage women.
You got hit even if you were not driving,
She's a trash
you need
lady.
to try this.
Because if you were in a car accident in the last
A trash lady. A trash lady. Like,
How I'm seeing it is if I
you gotta think that these people are like mentally ill to think a 5'6", 120-pound girl should be playing the same sport with a 6'7", 280-pound man. Like this bitch is sitting there smiling like she just made the best sense of all of this. Like, duh. Like, no, bitch, you're retarded.
how I'm seeing it is if I could answer with
They should keep popping up instead of like I have a whole playlist. Why are we not at the playlist? It just doesn't make no sense to me, gang. It's borderline mental. You got to be mentally like ill to think that it's okay to do any of this shit. These are the people that are in charge, man. That's crazy. And then you got to wonder, that's what you want to put your money on? You want to be betting on you want to put your money on a sport that doesn't even make sense to the things that you're seeing? You see these people are like trying to get men into a sport that's supposed to be for women. And you are like, oh yeah, let me put $1 on this bitch. These people are not using common sense, gang. They're not using common sense. Don't put your money on it. Don't put your money on it. And don't put your money on these people. They're retarded. The fuck? No, we finna watch this too. No, we finna hold on. We finna watch this too. No, they not finna get away with that one, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna have to watch this too.
They were harassed by trans activists outside the arena. Meantime, Lynx head coach making a statement of her own, wearing a shirt that said "Trans kids belong" during the game. There it is. Joining me now, independent women ambassador Peyton McNabb and town hall columnist Dustin Greggy.
That bitch look like a goofy. You look like a goofy. You look like you want to be a nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you wearing this big ass, like, bitch, hold on.
Independent women ambassador.
This bitch want to be Steve Kerr looking ass bitch. This bitch got on this big ass suit, jacket, these big ass black pants, and she got her hair down like she just got nigga hair. Like, she's just one of the guys. Like, bitch, if you don't go dress gender appropriate, bitch, and take off that stupid ass shirt, trans kids belong. You got to be mentally ill to think kids who don't even know what a boy girl is, they just know they're a kid, that you trying to project a gender onto this. Like, they're not thinking about that shit. They're playing with trucks, they're playing with dolls. They choose a truck because they're a boy and they see their dad drive the truck. They choose a doll because they're a girl and they see mom is cooking and cleaning and mom is taking care of the baby. It wasn't 10 years ago, 20 years ago, none of this confused ass shit ever existed until this nigga Obama wanna sign off in office. Oh yeah, let these niggas marry other niggas. Ever since then, this shit has been all fucked up. Kids are not trans. There's no such thing as a transgender child. Like, it's the adults who are mentally ill. ILL, mentally ill. You're mentally ill if you think there is such things as trans children. I don't give a fuck.
Ambassador Peyton McNabb and town hall columnist Dustin Greggy, who attended the rally for Sophie and witnessed the events firsthand. So, Dustin, I'll begin with you. Describe what you saw, what happened.
Well, I just have to say, I mean, the leftists have completely lost the plot here. I mean, we're just here to stand up for women, stand up for their right to fair competition.
If you notice what his shirt is saying in the hat, in his background, it says XX and it says XY under the XX because there's no alphabet. All this LGBTQ shit doesn't really exist. It's just mental illness and humans having nothing better to do than to bring problems that don't really exist so they can have something to do while they're alive, because then they would have nothing to do. So XX means male, if I'm not mistaken. XY means female. That's it. There's no alien gender. There's no gender neutral gender. There's no up, down, left, right, in, out. It's only men or women. And men who think they're women who aren't women because they're men, and men who think they're, and women who think they're men but aren't men because they're women. You're retarded. I'm so sorry to let you know that, but congratulations, you played yourself.
And to save spaces. And this is a 90-10 issue, by the way, guys. I mean, talk about a culture war where you just can't lose as conservatives, as people who support women. But the WNBA, the Democrats, they insist on going against culture and pushing upstream. But this is a battle they're going to lose. And you can see it in the faces of just normal people walking, just trying to go to a game. I think around 17,000 people attended this game. It was one of the higher benchmarks of attendance for a
all the people who are like mentally retarded, they never look good. The people who say dumbass shit like trans kids belong, meanwhile there's no such thing as a trans child, those people always look fat, weird, ugly, sad, depressed. There's never like a bad bitch who's like, oh no, even though I bump coochies, that's all I do. No, even the bad bitches who bump coochies like dick. And all the niggas like me, we like coochie. So it's always the ugly people, the outcast, the fat, lazy, bum-ass people who have nothing better in life to do than to try to cause confusion. It's really political theater, but at the end of the day, it's mental retardation. So sorry to tell you.
WNBA game here in Minnesota, they were just awestruck watching this circus because, quite frankly, Dot, if I were to repeat some of the obscenities that were said to women by men, by the way, through megaphones, screaming in their faces, I would be banned from this program going forward because it was that insane. And in one case,
I wish I could say transgender was like a white people problem, but black people have it too in our community. But it's like, it feels like it came from white people because black people don't do shit like this. And I don't even like to be like racist, but it's like, it's white faces. This has nothing to do with us. But because it's our sport, we got to say something, gang. We can't just let it slide. We got to protect the kids. If nobody's going to protect the kids, I just want to protect the children. And I just want to say there's no such thing as a transgender child. When you're 18, 21, you want to say that? Cool. But until then, You're a child. You're just a confused child. When you're older, you're then a confused adult. But as a confused adult, you can do whatever you want. But as a confused child, you got to stay in the child's place. And you are a boy or you are a girl until you are grown. I'm so sorry. Then you can pretend.
We even saw one of their trans supporters assault one of the activists here on scene. And this isn't a new thing. I mean, I've been swatted. Riley Gaines has had many threats to her lives, as well as Peyton here on the program. And we saw Charlie Kirk murdered. This is a serious issue, and Democrats keep pushing it aside. But at the end of the day, this is their...
I don't know what Charlie Kirk has to do with this, but I'm going to let him cook.
Theirs to own, and they're going to have to come up with a different solution here eventually, because they will lose on this issue. We saw when Sophie Cunningham came out with pro on this issue, her sneakers sold well.
Yeah, we're going to watch that next game.
Within 48 hours, because she's on the right side of the culture in this case, and we're going to see that continue to move.
Like I told you, Sophie Cunningham did have a shoe. It did sell out in 24 hours or 48 hours. And that's because she's on the right side at the end of the day. The people with the money are not the people who are saying dumb shit like trans kids belong. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get this shit together, gang. What is going on?
But that said, Dustin, and I do want to bring in Peyton for the answer here. Peyton, what do you make of Sophie continuing not to back down in the face of...
She a soldier, man. Shout out to Sophie Cunningham. She a real nigga. A real ass nigga.
These protests, because
like
Dustin said, this is a 90-10 issue. We all get that. But when you're on the receiving end of a lot of hate, a lot of vitriol, it's tough to keep your strength up. And that's exactly what Sophie's doing. So what do you make of that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that just adds a whole another layer on top of how important it is what she's doing, because it is absolutely not easy at all to say what she is saying. And I can only imagine at her level the amount of pressure that's on her. So it just really does show just how important.
Yeah, they're literally making Sophie Cunningham into like some kind of like hero, unsung hero for people like me who don't agree with the retardation. They're turning her into literally like a leader in her own right, because she's the only one who seems to be saying anything, and that makes her a leader. So all they're doing is making Sophie Cunningham look better, giving her more notoriety, giving her more revenue, more money in her pockets, because they're going to talk about her every single game she plays, saying that, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Well, as long as you come into the game, as long as you're talking about her online, she's going to get paid. All you're doing is getting her money.
Important. She takes this issue, and this is what they do. This is the plan every time. The moment that someone speaks out and it goes against the agenda of what they want them to say, then it immediately becomes that they're a distraction, and it takes away from the issue in itself.
Well, if Sophie Cunningham is considered a distraction, then imagine what a nigga, a man in the WNBA would be. If she's a distraction, what do you think a man in the Women's National Basketball Association would be? A distraction?
And they try to make an example out of you, but lucky for us and lucky for all the girls across the country, Sophie Cunningham is not interested in playing that game. And she has proven that over and over again, being willing to stand on what she's saying. And again, she's doing this in the height of...
Sophie Cunningham made me think she's from the country or something. She got to be from like the South, because she's not really playing. And I fought with her for that, because all these other hoes in the WNBA, they quiet as fuck, but we all know that's because they gay. They all gay. And Sophie Cunningham probably not on that, even though it looked like she was with Caitlyn for a while. But nonetheless, it looked like she's the only one speaking out against it, because even Caitlyn not saying nothing.
For her career, I mean, she's taking off. She's not waiting until it's safe, and she's doubling down on it. And she wants to have the same opportunities for the next generation, and she wants them to have what she has. And I think that just means so much, because back to the coaches, I mean, the coaches are going against the girls, and that's what blows my mind the most. I mean, you only have the career.
The fact that the coaches are going against their own players it shows you how unorganized the WNBA is. But shout out to the girl gang. I ain't gonna lie. But for anybody, it's like just because you think you're something that you're not doesn't mean I have to call you or you're gonna force me into thinking you are, even though I can clear. Just because you're red telling me you're blue doesn't mean I can't see that you're fucking red. Burgundy and lavender are two different colors. You can't come to me telling me you red when you're really purple or blue, gang. Either you're purple, blue, or red. And if you're red, and you gotta stay red. If you came into this world red, you can't leave this world blue, gang. When your bones is what's left, they're gonna look at your fucking hymen and your fucking hips and be like, bitch, that was a woman. I don't give a fuck what she thought she was when she was living. That was a woman, because Alexander the Great died with both his hands buried outside of his casket, gang. You know why? Because you're gonna leave this world the same way you come in it. So you could think whatever you're thinking right now. When you die, they're gonna categorize you as a person who thought one thing really was this thing, and that's the thing they're gonna put you in.
That you have today because of Title IX,
right?
And the fact that you can't acknowledge that and you don't want that for the next generation, it's mind-blowing.
Why would a majority of a league for women take a position against women? And quite frankly, like Dustin mentioned, against what the majority of the American people, i.e. the American consumer, wants. Makes no sense. Peyton and Dustin, got to leave it there. Thanks for your time this morning.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows.
People are crazy. Crazy. Foolishness.
Imagine pulling up your neighborhood, spotting your roof, your street, even the landmarks around you.
Of the heated exchanges at the Storm game in Seattle, as you just saw in that report. Well, Cunningham took some time before the game here in Portland tonight to speak about her beliefs and the polarizing debate surrounding her continued comments.
I still stand by what I said. I'll never go back on that. I think this is a great opportunity.
Humans are so retarded, gang. We're acting like it's a choice to be something that we were born not being. You can't be born a man or be born a woman, then live your life as the opposite and not think when you're dead and you die, you're not gonna be you're not gonna go in the group that you thought you were. You're gonna go into a group that you were born as when you die. If you were born a woman, when you die, you're going to be categorized as a woman. When you're born a man, you're going to die and be categorized as a man. It's mental illness.
For the WNBA, they preach diversity and being inclusive. So what a great opportunity for them to actually be that. And so we don't always have to agree. We can still be kind. We can still thrive and be successful in the same area. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I have been doing.
And you can see outside there was controversy out there at Moda Center. Protesters, there were counter protesters as well, gathering to voice their opinions on Cunningham's stance on transgender athletes in women's sports. We did catch up with some of the demonstrators on both sides of the argument.
And we do not think it's fair that males get a new opportunity to compete where they are going to succeed because of the obvious asymmetry of.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Shout out to this lady.
Because of the obvious asymmetry of.
We did catch up with some of the demonstrators on both sides of the argument.
And we do not think it's fair that males get a new opportunity to compete where they are going to succeed because of the obvious asymmetry of physical strength, prowess, speed, agility, all of these things. And we want females to have their right to organize politically on the basis of our sex.
So they're just taking this and blowing it out of proportion for political reasons instead of just live and let people have their own lives.
That bitch eyebrows too close together.
Spicy. It got spicy before the game even started. It got spicy before the game even started. This is wild, man.
If you have any opinion on this as I'm speaking, please feel free to comment down below. Let your opinion be heard. Share, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That's the least access if you don't mind subscribing, because this is a lot to go through, but I would love for you to go through it with me. I don't want to go through it by myself, but it is what it is.
Reed running down, pressing Sophie Cunningham about her stance on this whole trans situation. You had the ABC telecast or ESPN, whoever it was, bragging about the t-shirt that head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reed, chose to wear.
Shout out to Keep the Vision React.
I think for us, like, it's not really a discussion we really have in our locker room. I think it's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about and how we can get wins. And obviously we didn't do that tonight, so need to find an area to improve in that way.
Do you have any,
Kaylin ain't trying to hear none of that shit. She don't want to hear none of that shit. Sophie Cunningham is the only person that's standing up for children and protecting children in this case. I love Caitlin Clark. She don't give a fuck about the kids, the coaches, the players, the game. She's here only giving a fuck about herself. I can't even be mad at her for that, because, bitch, you're damn if you do, damn if you don't, bitch. So shut up and dribble. Shout out to LeBron.
Reaction to the...
I just answered for you.
All right. We'll go over to the Zoom. We'll start with Chloe.
As someone who designs and builds with AI for a living, I am genuinely picky about what makes it into my workflow. And Superhuman Dogs
Who
are
are
just
you?
The challenge isn't generating AI ideas.
The clock becomes a little bit of an issue, and Minnesota just gets it across. And a whistle, no indication as to what. We'll call foul on Cunningham. Out some of the guards you're seeing here today is the efficiency. If you look at true shooting percentage, which weights for both free throws and three-point percentage, #1 in the league, Kelsey Mitchell in true shooting percentage. #2, Kayla McBride. #3, Caitlin Clark. So you have arguably the 3 most efficient guards in the league, in addition to the bountiful stats. #4 on that list is Paige Beckers, another incredible guard. Now they're going to take a look.
The previous play is under review for a potential hostile act after the whistle.
We're going to take a look at the elbow that happened here after the defensive foul was called on Cunningham.
Yeah, right there. I think that's just a common foul. Nia Coffey is just trying to bring the ball through. Sophie Cunningham's face is right there.
I think it's a natural basketball motion.
I know 100% think that's a natural basketball motion. Anyone who's ever done a pivot drill knows that. And so I think it should stay just a common foul.
They playing that stupid ass music. They don't know what they
Man,
doing.
Sophie Cunningham has been on a generational run these past few weeks.
Brother.
Ever since she spun the block for
I
Caitlin
didn't
Clark,
even wanna
her
get
stock has
into it.
done nothing but.
I just wanted to put it out there. Yeah, no, I like Sophie Cunningham. Ever since they tried to fuck her up in the middle of a basketball game. Yeah, no, she I just wanted to bring it to anybody's attention who didn't see what was going on in the WNBA. They're trying to get men into the WNBA, and as soon as they get enough niggas in there, I'm putting my money on the team with the most men game, because it's going to be an easy win. Like, no nigga is going to play against a female and lose. Like, we not losing. As soon as you get a man in the WNBA, whatever team that man plays for, that's the team that's winning it all the time. And he's the player that's going to get all the points, most of the points, most of the time. I just wanted to bring some of this to your attention. Again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, which is why I'm even here, because I'm entitled to my opinion. I just wanted to bring it to your attention, not to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. Sophie Cunningham is the only female WNBA player who's speaking out against men playing in her league. She's the only female because there is men in like managerial positions in the WNBA, but they're not going to say nothing because that's not their place. And the women who do have a position and a platform to speak out against it, they're all for it. It doesn't matter if they're American and white or if they're Asian and fucking tall. Like, they're all just for it. So they're going to see what happens. And I can't wait. I can't wait for niggas to start playing in the WNBA. So now we got two sports. We got the NBA and we got men in the WNBA. So it gives me more chances to win money. That's all I see, brother. I don't give a fuck. Put 10 niggas in there, shit. Like, soon as you get a good amount of niggas in there, nobody's here to watch the women anymore. We're just here to watch our money. And our money then turns into the men that you decided to put into your league when you had a league all of your own. I'd be damned if I start something for myself just to allow people outside of myself to join. And now myself is outside of what I started for myself. That's just stupid. But we're dealing with people who are mentally retarded. So it makes sense at that point. Again, if you have any comments, please share it down below. I appreciate anybody who came through. Leave a like if you are here. If you have came, if you're part of Replay Gang, I appreciate you too. Please like, comment, share, and again, subscribe. I hope everybody understands my point of view. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or something. I'm more of an upper type of guy, if you catch my drift. But outside of that, I'm gonna go here on Kick and Twitch, play some 2K. I just wanted to get that across. Again, I am your host, Rondo23. This is the Rondo23 show, the Rondo23 Experiment podcast with your host, Rondo23. Anything outside of this, I appreciate you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope everybody's having a great day. Get you some money, get you some pussy, some real vagina, some biological punani, and please get you some money and please get you some sleep. Peace.